Hi, I'm Brickroad. This is The Legend of Zelda, Legend of the Giant Speckled Egg. This is Link's Awakening. This is the second remake of Link's Awakening that I'm aware of, actually. This game was gifted to me by a viewer. I'm just going to stick with Link for my name, I think. That's my name in real life, is actually. That's it. It's on my birth certificate. This game was gifted to me by a viewer who asked to remain anonymous, but they wanted a sponsored Let's Play series for themselves, which is something I offer through my Patreon, but they didn't want a shout out or anything. They sent me a message through Patreon saying they'd been a viewer for a long time and they liked my stuff and they really wanted me to play this game. Which I'm delighted to do. I'm always happy to make my viewers sandwiches. I'm looking through the text here because I played this game many, many years ago, but I haven't played this version of it, and I'm very curious to see whether any of the dialogue is actually changed or not. Is that it? We're ready to go already? Is this a stand for something? Oh, I'm gonna have to collect Mario monsters, aren't I? So anyway, big thanks to an anonymous viewer who wanted me to play this game and so gifted me a copy of the game to play. I was never, ever going to buy this game. I guess we should talk to these people. No, I was actually a little... butthurt might be the wrong word, but I don't know, maybe I was. No, this game came out for the Switch, and I think it looks gorgeous. It's a wonderful looking little game. But it's a remake of the Game Boy game, the original Game Boy game, Link's Awakening, which is kind of the Legend of Zelda 4. So this would have come out between A Link to the Past on the Super Nintendo and Ocarina of Time on the Nintendo 128. So one change I've noticed immediately is I have a dedicated shield button, which is interesting to me. Because in the original Link's Awakening, your shield was an item you equipped, right? But no, now I just have a dedicated shield button. So I've got 8 directional movement. This all looks pretty good to me. And let's just go through the menu here. Green tunic, my favorite clothes that I washed ashore in. Have a little bit of a map. Oh, some of the map is drawn in. That's kind of cute. So it looks like I'm still going to be able to equip 2 items in addition to my sword and shield. I wonder if that's the case. Just chuck this chicken into the, Can you damage me? I forget. No. You're just a friendly doggo. Friendly good doggo. Part of me wants to go through and talk to all the NPCs and stuff in the game. I think this doggo wants like a hair ribbon or something. There's a big trading sequence later. Anyway, I wasn't going to buy this game. I did want to play it when it came out. The remake looked really nice, as I said, but I didn't want to... It's just paying $60 for a game that already exists didn't sit well with me. So I didn't purchase Link's Awakening, and Nintendo has a policy that their games never ever go on sale under any circumstances ever. So I kind of just resigned myself to not playing this game until Anonymous Contributor came along. There's my sword. So do I have a dedicated sword button, or do I equip a sword like an item? Does the owl not have a name in this game like he does in Ocarina of Time? Oh, it's my fault the monsters are starting to go ham. I'm not familiar enough with Link's Awakening to know whether this dialogue has been rewritten or not. I haven't made that determination yet. I think I will enjoy having a dedicated sword and shield button, though. One of the things about Link's Awakening is that every item you get in the game, including your sword and your shield, is an item you equip from the menu and you can only equip 2 at a time. So you can do some cool stuff like equip bombs and arrows at the same time and have bomb arrows. But at the same time, if you equip 2 items, you don't have a sword. And if you equip your sword in an item, you don't have a shield. So there was a lot of just menu fudgery going back and forth. Beware of sea urchins. Oh yeah, it's just telling you to use your shield to push the sea urchins around, or just use your sword to destroy them. What else is there to do out here on the beach? Get some rubles, I suppose. Sales House of Bananas. Yeah, this is part of the trading sequence. Like, there's a thing where you get an item, and then another character wants the item, and then another character wants an item, so you trade items. And I think it's compulsory. I think you have to do it in this game. It's not just like a bonus item you get at the end, is it? It's like an actual thing you need to... I do walk slower with my shield out, and I can't use my... Wait, I can't use my sword with my shield out. I don't walk that much slower, though. I wonder if it's a situation where... like, my shield is just totally ineffective unless it's out. That seems to be the case, because that Octorok's little poo ball hit me squarely on the shield, and yet I still sustain damage. I suppose what we should do next is check out Mabe Village. So yeah, an anonymous contributor wanted me to play this game, and I went to purchase my copy today, and it's just a terrible hole that I fell in. Fair enough, that hole didn't lead anywhere nice. And it was I'm still a little perturbed, because I went there, and at the store that I went to, at least... By the way, can I just take a minute and say how nice it feels to be able to, like, go to a store and buy things now? Which is something I haven't done for over a year. It felt kind of nice. But no, this game was on the rack but it was more expensive than Breath of the Wild, which is the Zelda game that's actually brand new and has all new content for the Nintendo Switch. I don't think I want to read all these books. Dark Secrets and Mysteries. One of these has information I really need in it. But I think... What is the rest of this stuff? It's just gameplay stuff. Look up the name of a place. Okay, so this is a full world map of all the stuff that's in the game. Fair enough. Do I have a dedicated map button? What do my other buttons up here do, even? On the controller. Properties of warp points. I think I'll figure those out. Fun with bombs. I think I know everything there is to know about bombs in this game. I know how to equip items. I think I'm okay. Maps and Memories Guidebook. I do have a dedicated map button. Good to know. And I can mark it with a pin. Okay, so all that was actually functionality that was in the original game. If you look at the map. And... yeah, all this stuff is on the map. That's nice. I wonder if it'll mark down where I found seashells and hearts. Because, yeah, that was functionality that was even in the Game Boy game. How you brought up your map screen, and it would tell you, like, where you talked to NPCs, and sometimes where you found stuff. Is there any other functionality to the shield? Push enemies too. And there's going to be a mirrored shield eventually. Alright, and this book here... Alright, game. Getting snarky within the first 10 minutes here. Not sure I appreciate that. We're going to need Pegasus Boots to knock that book down and do something useful with it later. I think I want to jump down this well next. Seems like the thing to do. In fact, when this game did come out, and I thought it was a little upsetting that Nintendo released this remake of a really, really old game for like a full $60 price. I thought that was... like, this would be a great like $15, $20 eShop title, perhaps, but For a full, like, $60 game, I didn't like the idea of that. Do we have new stuff going on in here? I think Terran is going to end up in the forests. Oh, it looks like Marin isn't here either anymore. So, like, at the time, I was thinking what I should do is just do a Let's Play series of the Game Boy version of Link's Awakening and just, like, pretend it's the remake. Like, this game's graphics don't look that good for a $60 game. That was my idea at the time. I feel like that's a little too mean-spirited, and I ended up not doing it. I might still play Link's Awakening at some point. Who knows? That Yoshi doll. I need that Yoshi doll. How much does your trendy game talk, my friend? 10 rupees? I don't even have 10 rupees. What do you guys think? Should I steal the bow from the item shop? I kind of like how you can... The game isn't made up of individual screens. I can look and see the monsters on the next screen over there. Kind of interesting. It does feel like I have to walk pretty close to rubies to be able to pick them up. So I'm assuming you can still steal stuff out of this shop if you want. 3 hearts, a shield, deluxe shovel. Oh, the bow is not in here. Is it you have to buy the shovel first and then the bow appears in the shop? Is that the idea? Oh, here's Marin. Terran went to the forest to look for toadstools. That's correct. So he's going to be in there. He's been transformed into a raccoon. We'll listen to the Ballad of the Windfish for a moment. And the Flying Rooster. A lot of this stuff... I've played this game, but not extensively, and it's been many years, so a lot of it's going to come back to me over time. Oh yeah, fishing minigame. We don't need to worry about that at the moment. I think my goal for right now is to try to get through the first dungeon. The game kind of alternates, like a lot of Zelda games do, between like overworld exploration areas and then going down into solving a dungeon, which involves getting a new item and defeating a boss. Very classic, traditional Zelda situation on our hands. So yeah, I have to wake up the Windfish. That's the end goal. We got to collect a whole bunch of instruments so we can play the Ballad of the Windfish to him. But first, we have to find the key in this forest. Which, as I recall, is gonna... We have to find Terran and transform him back into a Terran. I guess the trick with these guys is to wait for them to throw their spear at you. It's gonna take some getting used to push the shield button and raise it up. Yeah, there's Terran, it's just he's a raccoon for the time being. Ah, okay, so this is a little different from the original. So in the original, each screen, there was a transition zone at the edge of the screen. So you get to the edge of the screen, it would pan over to the next screen. So instead of that weird little situation with the raccoon, it just panned forward to the next screen. Instead of this, like, smooth scrolling between areas. That's kind of why every area kind of looks like a square, because they didn't change the map layout, they just kind of changed the way the map fits together. But that situation was a little more seamless in the original, I must say. Okay, can I get behind you? Okay, there we go. Oh, I see, he's going to attack me. And then I hit him during the opening. So combat feels a little different because of the shield button and what have you. I can't get in here because I can't lift rocks yet. So we're going to learn to fight monsters. And I can use my sword while the shield is out. So we're out of the forest. This is as far as we're going for now because we cannot jump those little holes or move those little rocks. And can we do anything down here? What's this here? Oh, this is the potion shop, isn't it? This is where the witch lives? Ah, the witch! Okay, so we have to find a toadstool in the forest and bring it to the witch, and she'll turn it into powder, and then we throw the powder on the raccoon, and then the raccoon is Terran, and then we get the key. Because until we do that, we can't walk past the screen that Terran is on. Ooh, we still have the piece of power. That's nice. So now everything should die in one hit, right? Instead of 6 hits. And we kind of knock them off the screen. Where's this go? Don't get too comfortable on floors with cracks. Okay, I won't. I see that I cannot use the D-pad to move in this game. I have to use the control stick, which is not my preferred method of doing things. I've absolutely botched this, haven't I? I now see what my goal is. Oh, come on! So wait, how do I get off of this screen? Oh, I can push this rock. I had not botched this. I just had not realized these were pushable rocks. I realize now I'm a better man than I was. Maybe that's not true. Yeah, like these screen transitions here. This was what the whole overworld used to look like. Are all these pushable? Looks like I cannot get the heart without doing something with these skulls. So I'm assuming these skulls are pick-upable once I get the glove. So I want to... Let's get in the habit of... We'll pin this. And there's a heart here that I can get later. And then I can hide the markers. Nice. Okay. So once I get gloves, I can get a heart here. I wish it let me add like a little note. So I know for a fact that it's the gloves that I need. Here's my mushroom. A mellow aroma. So it's a mellow mushroom. They make good pizza. Am I at the very edge of the map here? Yes, I am. It's kind of interesting that I can see the ocean on the other side of the forest there. Which would not have been possible in the original. This is actually, I think I mentioned, the second remake of Link's Awakening. The first, because the original came out on the Game Boy. Like the old school pea green 1989 packed in with Tetris Game Boy. But eventually they released the Game Boy Color, which was a Game Boy that could do color. It wasn't just pea green. And they released a version called Link's Awakening DX, which was the color version of this game, which actually looks really, really nice. And it was my preferred method of playing the game for many years. I used to have a Super Game Boy, which was a device for your Super Nintendo that you plugged in, and you could plug Game Boy games into it. And, was Link's Awakening one of the first games after the Super Game Boy came out? But I remember that... I have to go up and around, don't I? To get back to the witch's hut. I remember, like, the Super Game Boy didn't have full support for Game Boy Color games or something. But there were, like, color-themed bonus dungeons in the DX version of Link's Awakening, and I'm curious to see if those are in this version of the game or not. But I actually had much difficulty back in the day playing Game Boy games. I used to get bad headaches playing any handheld games. I feel like the strain on my eyes has been, like, looking at the tiny screens. I'd play for a little while and I'd get a headache. So I actually had a difficult time getting through Link's Awakening the first time I played it on the original Game Boy. I now have powder. So this is our first actual item. And we have 20. Do you like powder? Doesn't like powder. Oh, I think she wants me to light the fire. Look at that. Do we have to restock powder by coming here? My recollection is that you pick it up in the world as like an item drop. Like you would with bombs or arrows. Hiya! So I can fight that monster now. I actually don't want to use up all my powder, I guess. But now we must go find the raccoon again. But yeah, I just felt like for maybe like a $15 or $20 like eShop download or something, this would have been a fantastic remake, but I keep turning away from him, which is not what you want. Is there anything here? There's something here with a shovel, I think. I'm going to mark this. I'm going to mark this with a shovel, with a spade. Yeah, there we go. I wonder how long I'm going to go before I stop marking stuff on the map like that. Like, you know I'm going to just get tired of doing that, and then I won't anymore. Piece of power. It's like a Triforce piece, but it's not. Alright, so here's you. You can have some powder, and then this will let me walk through the misty part of the north of this little screen. Shoutouts to Josh Odom for sponsoring this video. If you liked the video and you want to see more, please tickle my thumb, leave a friendly comment, and ring my little bell.